Welcome to Office Hours. I'm Emily, our VP of Customer Success here at ProLine. Thanks so much for joining me today. We're going to walk through the recent UX and UI improvements. So that's user experience and user interface improvements to quotes and quote templates. These updates focus on making the quote experience just clearer, more consistent, and easier to use without changing how quotes function. By the end of the session, you should feel comfortable navigating an updated quote editor and understanding what's changed and why. So, what did we change? The improvements that we made to quotes edited from project details and quote templates managed under company settings focus on visibility of actions and settings, layout consistency, and just reducing unnecessary clicks. So, no permission changes, no functional changes with this one. This is strictly just user experience and user interface changes. Um, let's look at why these improvements matter. Uh, some of the quote actions and settings were sort of like I can't demo this part because we don't have it live anymore, but previously some of the quote actions and settings were hidden behind icons. They were kind of hard to discover or limited by screen width. My team works with customers every day, and we get a lot of questions about or even ask, "Can we add this feature?" And, "Oh, that's actually in there. You just don't see it." So, we just made it harder to add, modify content. Some of the pricing details were a little hidden, and adjusting margins and settings efficiently was just not as clear. So, these updates are designed to improve that usability, clarity, and speed when working on quotes. Um, so I'm gonna go ahead and let me share my screen and show you kind of what's going on here. When editing a quote from project details, which is what I'll show you next, the quote editor now opens as a full page experience. If you've been using our product for a while, you know that previously it was a pop-up in the middle of the screen, but now our quote editing opened, it was a half page pop-up really. So I can edit now this quote from this project, and this is a full page experience. The quote pages appear on the left and the quote settings appear on the right. So the layout matches the quote preview. So I've opened up a project, I'm in project details, editing quote. This full page side by side is, a familiar structure between preview and edit and more space to work without scrolling. So you'll notice all of my pages are listed here. This is a pretty simple quote, so there's not a ton. And then all of my settings are here. Let me open a new one. So this is one that I'm editing. I wanted to show you that, but let me do a new quote so that I can show you more of the functionality throughout. The sun's in my face, guys. Okay, so we still have the ability to add pages and add pages from templates here at the bottom. And you're going to see like here in the green what our profit margin is, deposit percentage. Um, we'll go through all of these things. So visually, colors, spacing, typography. Our main pages are navy blue. Our sub pages remain light blue. Let me show you what a sub page. So we have our structure sub pages. So this quote was a multi-option. I have my good, better, best, and my pipe boots, and my seamless gutters. And these are the sub pages. These are light blue. The page chips are more visible and contrasted, which would be these. This is the page chip. Looks sort of like a tag. Inputs are cleaner and easier to read. Spacing has been increased throughout because it's the full page view or font sizes, weights, colors, just more consistent, creating a more polished and premium experience. Okay, so let's talk about the page level actions and the visibility improvements that are now in this new quote UI UX improvement. So previously, many actions were hidden behind the small wheel icon, and important actions like add content were not obvious. And, like I said before, we would often get questions about things that already existed because things just were a little bit hidden. So now primary actions appear as clickable text. Secondary actions are grouped under an additional menu. And then hover effects improve clarity and discoverability. So you can hover to see more information as well. This is probably especially important on pages like options and add-ons where multiple actions are available, and light items still use the wheel icon as users are already familiar with that interaction. So this is what I mean. We have this wheel icon for items here with a small menu that still exists. And then our sub pages are good. I can upload a banner. My overrides are listed here. So users used to have to click on the price to access breakdowns, and small prices just kind of made this unclear. Now, just directly on the page, you see the margin override, subtotal override, cost per type, and the price breakdown. These types are set up in your line item settings. And then we have our price breakdown here with your margin and your subtotal price. Just a really clear way to see what you're working with for this option. Let's see, standalone add-ons like margin override remains available. We just kind of went through that. Behavior with that is consistent with the previous experience. In quote templates, margin overrides can still be updated from the company settings. Some behavior differs slightly on from project level quotes, but that's expected. So no no functionality has changed, just only layout and visibility. I'd like to show you just sort of how the settings panel sticks to the side here on the right. It just makes it so much easier to make some changes without having to scroll a bunch. So I have, I can update the quote name, the signing request, the deposit percentage, anything, if I want to round, add discounts, add financing, all of these things are available on the right-hand side. And then you still have all your pages listed on the left and can even follow, what, okay, let's see. I want to build our card fee in, and maybe I want to make this 50% just for fun. I can just see directly here on this structure page, just for example, we're looking at how this subtotal price changed right here. And we're working on the settings on the right and the pages are changing on the left. It's beautiful. So let's see. I think again, it's important to emphasize that no changes to permissions have been made or will be made during this transition. No changes to the quote logic, no workflow disruption. All of these updates are just simply focused on reducing clicks and improving clarity. Making quote editing faster and easier. This is again just based on your feedback and the questions that we get. Um, the The differences are basically visible in the project level quoting, the editing, and then adding a new quote from a project, and then quote templates, which is in company settings. So, company settings for anyone that needs some guidance, that would be just in our menu here, and we go to company settings. And in company settings, we have our quote templates. Let's edit this one. And so this is going to function the same way with pages on the left and settings on the right. All right. So to wrap up, before questions, we've got our full page experience side by side. The sun is getting straight in my face, guys. Spacing, colors, typography are more consistent. Actions and pricing details are more visible, and no functionality or permission changes were made. So if you have questions and you want to have help navigating these changes outside of this call, you can always reach out to the support team. And you can find our support. The easiest way is to just chat with us. So, bottom right hand of the page, choose to chat. We have team members you can see up here ready to jump in. And then, of course, you can always submit ideas as well if you have any additional ideas, especially for the quotes, right? Okay, let me see if we have questions. Okay, so Desiree asks, am I able to turn off the profit margin option and do a simple per square price instead? And the answer is yes. So our quotes are extremely customizable. This is just something that you would want to set up likely in a template. You can also add pages and create from scratch when you're creating quotes. But yes, simple per square price is definitely something that you can do in ProLine. Well, if we don't have any more questions, I won't hold you, but I just really appreciate your time. Happy Tuesday, everybody. If you are at RoofCon, please come find me and say hello. I'm here just simply to meet customers. That's one of my favorite things to do. And yeah, y'all have a good day. Bye.